Assalamu alaikum and good morning everyone. I am Ashadujaman Shanto. Currently I am studying BBA in Port Management and Logistics at Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Maritime University. My ID is 192111031. First of all, I would like to give thanks to my cordial and respectful course coordinator, namely Mustafa Aziz Shahin sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to give presentation on a platform like YouTube. Before starting my presentation, I would like to mention what my topic is. So if you look at the first slide, I have chosen the topic digital transformation in the maritime transport sector and the author is Edward Tian, Maria Zobich and so on. Heading towards the next slide. My course name is Integrated Transport Systems and course code is TML 4106. Moving to the next slide. I would like to give an overview of the table of contents. The main part that I am going to cover today is about abstract, introduction, literature review, methodology, findings, results and analysis, discussion, and lastly the conclusion part. So, if I talk about the abstract part, this paper reviews the drivers, success factors, and barriers to digital transformation in the maritime transport sector. Previous research on this topic, giving a comprehensive overview, is scarce. So, to fill this research gap, the authors have identified 139 sources focusing on the state of the art and impact of digitalization. Innovative technologies like blockchain and autonomous shipping fosters digital transformation. Barriers include lack of awareness, lack of standards among stakeholders. These findings can help the practitioners developing successful digital transformation strategies in the maritime transport sector. Stepping into the introduction part, for many of us, including whoever watching this video, I think does not have a proper knowledge about the concept of digital transformation. The actual meaning of digital transformation is that it is a process that involves the adoption and the use of digital technologies to transform the key business operation, products, services, organizational structures, and management concept as mentioned by Matt. Some of you might be thinking right now what digital transformation leads to. In answer to this question, digital transformation causes fundamental changes in traditional business practices by creation of new types of organizations, bring changes in organizational cultures, relationship, value creation, customer reach, market position by the implementation of digital technologies as mentioned. Now, the question is there any major challenges for existing and upcoming shipping companies? Yes, there is. After conducting literature review, it has been seen shipping as a part of logistics chain is a volatile industry. So integration and exploiting new digital technologies is one of the biggest challenges that companies currently face as per the author Hess and Zaman. Now, have you ever thought why is this digital technologies important in case of maritime transport sector? The answer is quite simple. The world is moving towards digitalization so as international trade, and the maritime transport depends on international trade for its survival. Coming to the next slide. Now, if you look, what are the research questions identified? The following research questions were addressed by the author in this study. Firstly, what are the main drivers of digital transformation which can be applied to the maritime transport sector? The second question is about what are the success factors for digital transformation which can be applied to maritime transport sector? And the third question is about what are the barriers to successful digital transformation which can be applied to the maritime transport sector? Now, if I talk about the literature review of this research, digital transformation, in fact, in the maritime transport sector involves the adoption of digital technologies and the process to improve efficiency and environmental impact. It has been noticed that in the maritime industry has been slowing down due to the lack of awareness, cultural barriers in embracing digitalization. Factors such as organizational, technological, and environmental influencing the digitalization of organizations in the maritime transport sector has been found from the previous study. As a result of digitalization, organizations in the sector are generating additional revenue, providing new services, and introducing new sales, according to the author Wasdale and Ismail. So as far the use of digital technologies in maritime transport extend beyond operations to include customer acquisition and ticket purchasing as well. Overall, it can be said that the maritime transport sector is undergoing digital transformation to optimize cargo handling, improve logistic processes, and enhance efficiency and safety. Now, as part of literature review, what is the research gap and objectives found? The research gap after study has found that the previous research on digital transformation in the maritime transport sector is scarce, and the objectives identified in this research are that the author conducted a literature review and identified a total of 139 sources related to the driver success factors and barriers for digitalization. The analysis of the state of the art was also performed, along with the analysis of the impact of digital transformation in the maritime transport sector using a number of cases. To fill the research gap by providing a comprehensive overview of digital transformation in the maritime transport sector. Stepping into the methodology part, the framework of research methods and techniques followed in this paper was qualitative. The qualitative research design of the study were done based on literature review using six research databases such as the Web of Science, Scopus, StrangerLink, Emerald Insight, etc. Furthermore, a snowball sampling phase was utilized to extend the set of relevant primary studies. In case of implementation, the impact of digital transformation was analyzed by implementing a number of cases in the maritime transport sector. If I talk or discuss about the research area, it was on digital transformation in the maritime transport sector. The methodological steps followed was partially adopted from Dreyer. It includes the definition of review scope, literature search, selection of the studies, inclusion and exclusion, expanding literature, coverage, or snowball sampling, content analysis, etc. For your better understanding, I have also included the sources used in this research table number 1. You can go through these sources as well. Aside from this, if we have a look at the findings, we can say that the identified drivers, barriers, and success factors of digital transformation were classified under three contexts. These were organizational, technological, and external environment, which were applied to the maritime transport sector. Into the next slide. Now here comes the main part. So what are the barriers, drivers, and success factors identified by the author? You might probably see that I have already attached a chart mentioning all of this with proper sources. Firstly, the key barriers that were identified are inadequate heterogeneous organization structures or cultures, lack of awareness of how digital transformation may affect business, technology-oriented culture only, lack of urgency, vision strategy, return on investment visibility, and so on. Secondly, the drivers that were identified are new and emerging technologies, changes in customer behavior and expectation, cost reduction, intention, streamlining operations, lower data transparency, misalignment of cargo paths, information, and so on. Thirdly, the success factors that were identified are new business model, actively shaping future strategies, clear vision, cultural readiness for changes, organizational willingness to take risks, cross-functional collaboration, investing in manager knowledge, employees, etc. Stepping into results and analysis part, it is clear that this research focused on papers mentioning digital transformation and it aimed to identify the drivers, success factors, and barriers in maritime transport. The main search questions were why stakeholders in maritime transport pursue digital transformation and what is need for a successful digital transformation and what prevents a successful digital transformation. It can be clearly said that The relevant sources and cases have been analyzed to demonstrate the importance of digital transformation, including additional scientific paper for deeper understanding. Here comes the discussion part. Now we're going to look at what are the concepts that has been discussed. This study presents a model of drivers, factors, barriers for digital transformation in the maritime transport sector. Whereas the sector must digitalize business processes and remove outdated ones to remain competitive. Even new business models are necessary for maximizing innovation and effectiveness in fostering digitalization. Furthermore, digitalization should be aligned with an organization's business and digital strategy. The stakeholders must be culturally ready for changes and recognize opportunities. Moreover, successful DT should focus on both individual needs and external environment. The government should also encourage the stakeholders to invest in projects supporting DT, and constant education about the DT can benefits and quantification of benefits is crucial for decision makers. Technological success in maritime transport is closely linked to compatibility, interoperability, and digital security. The sector-specific management approach and limited resources hinder adoption of technologies like blockchain and autonomous shipping. Coming to the last part, conclusion. The existing studies do not provide a comprehensive overview of the current scenario or situation and the successful cases or drivers and impediments of DP in the maritime transport sector. In order to fill this gap, the research aims to identify the success factors, drivers, and barriers for DT which can be applied to the maritime transport sector. Secondly, the results of the study enrich the body of knowledge in the field of digitalization that can be applied to maritime transport sector. The overview of the identified drivers, success factors, and barriers offer researchers an introduction to the investigated field and may provide a baseline towards future research design. Due to lack of research in this field, further studies will be necessary in order to gain deeper insights and to design successful DT. Thirdly, literature review reveals limited digital transformation studies in the maritime transport sector. In-depth case studies and quantitative surveys can provide a deeper understanding of successful and failed DT projects. Some of the proposed research questions includes what activities and actions are needed for successful DT by enterprises. What is the difference between SEMEs and larger enterprise in adapting to changes caused by emerging technologies? And what is the role of government in DS in maritime transport sector? Last but not the least, the review provides a foundation for future research in DT in the maritime transport sector. Further empirical analysis is necessary to design guidelines, strategies, and solutions for faster, wider, and more successful DT. So that was the overall contents that I have tried to present to you all. I have also mentioned the references for your better understanding. You may go through the paper as well for your further knowledge. Anyone, whoever watching this video, if you have any questions, you may comment down below. Thank you all.